In this video, you'll be learning how to do your product launch planning from start to finish. So, the first phase is your pre-launch. This is the market research phase, and the first thing you got to do is survey your list, which hopefully you already have. And if you don't have a list, you should be building it with either pay-per-click or finding joint venture partners. You need to browse Amazon book reviews, and you take the positive comments as things that you should address as benefits in your product, and you take the negative comments and you reverse engineer them as benefits or things you address in your product. So if someone says they hate how complex all these or this book is or these instructions are, then you should make a note that these instructions are very easy and simple to follow. This is also the phase where you design your product based on the market research you've done. So if it's an info product, obviously you'll be using the information you get from the reviews to design it. And if it's actually a physical product, then you should be spending time on the phone with the customers, asking them what have you liked, what didn't you like, what could be fixed, and again, the same with the service. So that's what you need to be doing in your research phase. Also, you want to identify your hook and your story. What's the thing that you're going to say that's going to get people to pay attention to what you're going to be, pitching them in disguise? So identify the strong hook and also identify the story, because story selling is the most powerful selling tool you've got. So you've got to find either a case study or a real life example, or maybe share your story and see how that fits in with the hook and how it fits in with the marketplace research on how you're going to solve their problems. This is also the phase where you're going to gather proof elements. No proof, no launch. Meaning, if you don't have the proof, you don't have the sales. So figure out if you can get case studies from people that have bought your service, if you can get testimonials, or if you can find similar results from a product or service that's similar to yours as a base point if you don't have anything to start with, because you need to find some proof elements. And then of course you're going to map out your timeline. What are you going to release? What are the email dates you're going to be letting people get what on? So just sort of give that as a rough outline. The next phase is of course the pre-launch. So what is going to be your shot across the bow? This is your letting them know something's coming. So what sort of tidbit are you going to hint at after you do that survey sort of thing? Next is, what is the content you're going to give away? This needs to be your best content, but it needs to be relevant to the market pain. So this is where you're going to spend a lot of time thinking about what is it that you want to give away, and then you've got to make sure that you give away the right 50%. That's something I learned from Eben Pagan. He says, move the free line. Give away 50%, but give away the right 50%. And that's what you use your market research for. The next is, of course, planning out the mental triggers you're going to use. Scarcity, social proof, commitment and consistency, authority, stories, takeaway sale, controversy, being interesting, reciprocity, giving people a reason why, giving people a reason to like you, credibility, character, celebrity, and being interesting sort of things, anticipation, being specific, being simple, using emotions, anchoring, transferring. All these things are mental triggers, and you've got to figure out which ones you want to use and when. The next phase, of course, is launch. When you go live and your sales page is up and you're taking orders, you've got to plan what your core offer is going to be. 80% of the success of your sales page comes down to the right offer. So what is the right offer? Well, again, it goes back to the pre-launch planning when you're researching the emotional hot buttons and you're figuring out what people like and don't like, and you're putting it in emotional terms that they can understand using their language. Next, you want to figure out, what are your timed and limited bonuses? Okay, this is that scarcity play. What are they going to get if they don't? What's going to happen if they don't buy? What's the bad thing that's going to happen if they don't buy? What's time limited and what's quantity limited? Next, what are you going to use as your social proof? This is the big one. What are you going to say to them? Are the orders flying off the shelves? Are operators, are the phone lines flooded? I mean, what's the sort of social proof you can use when those orders start coming in? Now, never lie. Always just think of a way to spin it so that the appearance of a lot of busyness and excitement is going around at your office, especially on launch day. And you also need to consider if you're going to have a 72-hour surprise last chance offer. When you tell people you're going to take down an offer, you've got to do it. But you can get away with, a 72-hour, maybe a 48-hour surprise last chance offer where you're saying, look, I've been getting so many requests, or we've gotten a couple of cancellations, so I'm going to take 5 or 10 more orders or whatever it is, and you let them know that this is their absolute last chance, but it's after that, it's after you've shut down the sales page and you wait that 48-hour or 72-hour window. So that's your call. And of course, the last phase is planning your post-launch, which is, you do exactly what you say you would. You cancel the bonuses, you take down the sales page, whatever it is you said you were going to do. You survey your list again, and you repeat. Of course, you can also scale this up with joint venture partners, and you can actually use the results you get from this launch as proof elements when you approach other JV partners to let them know that you're serious. So you can definitely use the power of a product launch to scale upwards after. Now, if you want some help with your product launch, we do help people do their launches. We are product launch managers. We've been online for a couple years. You can visit our site, www.turnkeyproductlaunch.com. We are Jeff Walker trained, but we were doing this before he taught his product launch manager event. You can submit your product launch profile there, and we will get back to you with a free consult. However, depending on our volume and the assets you have with your launch, we might or might not be able to take you on. So just be sure when you're filling out your product launch profile, you're giving me all of your best answers. That way I can get back to you, or somebody on my team can get back to you with a very helpful follow-up. Thanks. I hope this has helped, and good luck with your product launch.